Hello, everyone, and welcome to our fifth deeper dive into the vital role that your native culture plays in the formation of your musical taste. In other words, the music that you've been listening to since you were a kid. So, my challenge to you in this segment is to go deeper than you might normally do. And I trying to identify those elements that make up the music of your native culture, as opposed to elements that would be maybe less familiar to you in a different musical culture. All right, so let's have you listen to a song in a genre that you know well, maybe rock or jazz or classical or hip hop if you're an American, that is, and try to identify those elements in the song that already sound a bit familiar, like it's like music that you've heard before. What are those elements that sound familiar, as opposed to things that you're not too sure how they're going to go? Now, so what about the instruments in particular? How well do you understand the kinds of sounds and the ideas that they're going to bring forth in this song? Like the approach in a guitar solo or a string section, if it's a pop song or if it's more of a classical piece. Are those instruments behaving the way that you think they will? Again, if you're an American. Can you identify how the melody will flow when it goes up or when it goes down? To what degree is this a melody that you almost feel like you've heard before, or elements of that? And what about the rhythm? Can you predict how the rhythm is going to flow, when it will stop, when it will change, that kind of thing? Okay, so after you've spent some time trying to understand those things that sound familiar in your native culture, go find a piece of music from a different culture, one that you did not grow up with. Now you could pick a song from a culture that you have kind of heard the music before, or you could just spin the globe and put your finger on a country and go find the music from that culture. You can do that on Pandora or Spotify, one of those services, or on YouTube. All right, so listen to the music of this kind of foreign culture and see if you can identify now what you're hearing. What about those instruments? Do they sound familiar? The way that the melody proceeds? Is it kind of, odd, or does it actually sound like you can kind of predict it? Depending on how remote it is from your culture, it probably will sound kind of odd. But pay attention to how your brain is able to kind of process that. So all of these things help to demonstrate how much your brain has locked into those elements of your native culture and is a little bit unsure of how to process music from a different culture. And I think that you'd agree that your native culture plays a pretty big role in why you like it. So have fun and happy listening.